Hey guys, good afternoon. I know it's been a while, but I've been taking care of work and doing a little bit of school and all that, so I haven't had that much time to, get stuff on recording stuff. But today I'm gonna start working on. Well, this is my personal car. I just got to get rear struts replaced on it. It's a 2013 Hyundai Sonata. As I'm driving, I mean, you can hear some a thump sound coming out the back. I suspect the struts. I am going to replace them anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and check and see if I can find what else might be wrong with it. Hopefully it's just the struts. So let me go ahead and get started, guys. Well guys, this year's 2013 Hyundai Sonata. I went ahead and lifted the car up, set it up on a jack stand. I'm going to go ahead and remove this tire and go ahead and start inspecting it, see what we can find wrong with it. Like I said, I mean, he had like a thump sound coming out of the back. To me it sounds like a loose strut, maybe a strut mount, something like that, maybe a bushing. So let me go ahead and take the tire off and go ahead and see what's wrong with this one. Well guys, on this one, I'm going to use my little electric impact and 21mm socket. Well guys, I want to show you, this is what they told me was going to fit my car. It's a Monroe. It's a 5646 strut. This thing is gas charged, so it's got a little clip holding it in. We do have to remove this clip in order for that strut to extend before we install. I'm going to be reusing this little dust cover, little boot. I'm going to put it back onto the new strut, and I'm going to be using, I'm not sure yet, but I couldn't find the strut mount for the rear shock, so I couldn't get it today. I'm going to see if I can get away with reusing the ones that are on the car. If for whatever reason they're too far gone, I'll just go ahead and assemble this thing, and I'll wait to install these until I get the new strut mounts. So I bought these Monroe. I didn't want to buy something too cheap. Hopefully this will give me a better ride, and hopefully it'll take that thump away, or that thump sound coming from the back end. I am going to do the front ones as soon as I do get them. I ordered those online because I couldn't find them locally. Dealer prices are ridiculous, so there's a company somewhere in Michigan that said that they had them, and they gave me a very decent price, so I went ahead and placed the order. It should be here in like 5-6 days. So for now, I'm gonna try and get these on and see how it goes. All right, guys. Well, guys, for starters, I'm gonna go ahead and get these two 15mm bolts holding that upper strut mount onto the car. Go ahead and remove those. Take some of that pressure off of that strut before we try to undo it from the bottom with the control arm. So, and my car's a little dirty. I do live in a ranch, guys, and this is from the last time that it rained. Puddles do last for a while down here, so I'll get to washing my car sometime today or tomorrow. Alright, we got those two off. My strut mount seems to be alright. So I'm going to reuse that sucker. Now I got to figure out a way of getting this bolt off. It's going to be a little hard for me to show you guys. Let me see if I can get this camera in place so you guys can see this. So guys, there I have a 19mm socket, and over here on this side, I don't know, can't really show you guys, but I got a 19mm wrench. There it is, holding the bolt in the back. So 19 on both sides, and let's go ahead and get this sucker undone. I mean, I don't know, hopefully this will somehow, you know, raise my back end of the car a little higher than what it was. It was sitting a little low. I know these things are pressurized. I'm hoping that this will give me, you know, a tiny little bit more lift or height, because right now my car is sitting like super low, dude, and I did not lower my car. So this is my old strut. Let me go ahead and get ready to remove my upper strut mount. Well guys, here I got my 17mm socket on there. I'm gonna hold this upper mount with my hand, and hopefully this gun will, yep, get it undone. There's that. There's my cover and mount, and this here's my old strut. Oh, this was junk. Take our new one. Get her mount back on there. My new strut comes with this little bushing. It goes on there. It's stepped, so the step goes down on there, and it comes with a new nut. So come on. There's our mount positioned back on our strut. There's our new nut, and give me 1 second guys, let me try something. I'm gonna try and see if I can grab this with a, I don't know, a crescent wrench, and use a wrench to actually get that back in place. There we go. I don't want to use a gun on there. It's gonna make a little bit of noise, and I want to see if I can give you guys just a little bit better view. And if I use a gun, it's going to start turning that strut, and it might just damage it from all the, I mean, it's going to be spinning. That. There's There's a new bolt, and that's our new strut. Let's go ahead and get it back in place, and hopefully we'll get this done. I mean, it's going to be pretty quick, guys. It's a lot easier than what I thought, so let me go ahead and get the stuff ready. There's that. I already slid the bottom bolt in place. All I gotta do is tighten that one. Oh. There's a nut. I already got the upper mount somewhat positioned where it goes. All I gotta do is get my 2 bolts in there and tighten them up, and should get our tire back on, and we should be done with this side. So I'm getting the 2 15mm bolts on my strut mount bolted back onto the chassis. There's that. Now, let's get this sucker tightened, and we should be done with this side. Well, guys, that's that for this side. I mean, got it bolted up to my lower control arm. Got it bolted up to the chassis of the car. I'm going to go ahead and leave the wheel off for now, because after I'm done with the other side, I'm going to go ahead and turn on that power washer and get all this mud off of my car. So let me go ahead and go to the other side. These brakes I did a while back, so they're still in decent condition. I am going to be replacing the front brakes on this one today. So after we're done with the shocks or the struts, I am going to go ahead and go to the front, raise it up. I'm going to do my front brakes, and I'm going to inspect my front strut tires, strut mounts, and struts, springs, so on and so forth, and see how much need I am of replacing them. Well, guys, here's going to be the same process. 15mm bolts on top are going to get loosened or removed. You got 2 of them, so get both of those suckers removed. Both are off. All right. Then get my 19. Get my wrench, set it up behind, holding the bolt in place so that right now the whole thing is spinning, so. $19mm nut remove. Yank that bolt. Come on, a little stubborn. A whole bunch of dirt and junk holding it in place. Persuaded with tapping it. Bolt comes out. Strut comes out. Now here, I'm going to hold this little flat spot on the strut push rod, and I'm going to take my wrench, 17mm, slip it on there, and loosen this sucker up. Alright. If you don't have an impact, well, just normal, regular tools, you can get this job done. That's off. This is off. Old strut, junk. Our new strut. Same part numbers, so there is no left and right. They're both the same. Get this sucker. Pull this little clip off. Let the strut extend. Get our nut and spacer. Spacer has a recess on one side. Recess goes towards the strut. There. Get this new bush. Oh, we're reusing. It's not a new bushing. We're reusing the old one. Strut mount. Sorry. Put that sucker in place. A little persuasion. It goes into place. Get the nut. Again, get our crescent and tighten our nut. And there we go, guys. Collapse the sucker, kind of hold it in place. Get your bolt. Feed it all the way through. There we go. Get our nut started at the bottom. Once you got that bolt and nut, let the strut rise, set it into place, and get your 15mm bolts back in their locations. Once you got those 15mm, get the two top bolts tightened. Tighten up your bottom one. That's that. Well guys, we got both of our struts replaced. I'm going to say it took us like, I don't know, 30 minutes maybe. So it's a pretty quick and easy job. I mean, on a scale from 1 to 5, I'd give it a 2. But that's it for the struts, guys. Let me go ahead and get wash this up, get those tires back in place, and go ahead and turn this car around so we can go ahead and lift the front end. Well guys, on this one we already got the wheel removed. As you can see, our brake pads are not gone. I mean, I still have a little bit of life left on them, but I am going to go ahead and replace them. We bought these Select ceramic. Hopefully they do their job. And of course we got our tools here, our little caliper. That's what we use to depress that caliper and close it in. We could use a screwdriver, we could use you know, a C-clamp, but I mean, we got this tool, might as well just use it. So let me go ahead and take the sucker apart. It's got 14mm bolts holding the caliper in place, and well, it's gonna be easy, guys. Let me show you. Well guys, what I said when I said we could use a screwdriver, you could always put a screwdriver in between that brake shoe and the disc and force it open, close that caliper piston. Just kind of push it back and it'll close. Or, I mean, you can always do that, but since we do have the tool, let me go ahead and get these two little bolts off. I had already loosened them. What this is, this here is a little floating caliper. It runs on these two pins. Alright, bring that sucker off to the side, bring it over, and what we got to do is we got to close this piston. We got to push it inward onto its little case, onto the caliper, so that when we put the new brake pads, this thing will just fit right over it, and then we'll just pump the brakes and sit the sucker back in. As you can see, my brakes weren't completely gone. I still had quite a bit of life in them, but they've been there for a while. I mean, this is a 2013, guys, and these suckers have never been replaced. So I think it's time. It does come with these anti-rattle clips. We are going to replace them. They are in place, but those suckers are been there for quite a while. So let's go ahead and replace it with the new ones that came with the brakes. All right. Pull the little clip off. Pull the top clip off. Get these new ones and pop them back in place. There's one. Here's the other. All right. Now that we got our anti-rattle, these are our old shoes. These are our new shoes. Not that much of a difference in, I still had like 50, I'm gonna say 50% on them, but I'm gonna go ahead and get new ones on there. Slip them right into place. There's that one. There's this one. All right. Now, well guys, and on these things it's pretty simple. This fits, it's a little bit larger than the piston cup. I'm going to set this on the tool. You take this flange, you slide it in, and this is more or less what it looks like. Alright, you back this bolt, well, insert this between the piston and the caliper body. You turn this sucker, and what it does, I'll show you in a bit. What it does is, as you turn, it's pushing against the piston, and it's pushing that piston into its cavity right there on the onto the caliper body, until you have it all the way in. There. And that's it, guys. It's that easy. Now your caliper is wide open, or the piston is fully depressed. Now you can get the sucker to go onto the, sorry, get it to go back on, and it's got a whole bunch of free play that you will take care of once you got everything bolted back up. All you have to do is jump in the car, pump the brakes once or twice. It'll cause this caliper to close, pinch those brakes, and when you release, give me 1 second, guys. There's one. There you go. And, well, let me go pump the brakes real quick, and hopefully you guys can see what's going to happen with that caliper right there. What you're looking at is the pistons in here. You're going to see these brake pads close onto each other, and once I pump it twice, all this free play here is going to go away. So you can see right there, look at how much movement we got. All right, that's a sliding caliper, guys. Well guys, I pumped it something like maybe 5 times, and look at that. I mean, it's enough for me to be able to move this wheel. The brakes are riding along this disc. You have a very, very small gap between the brake pad and the disc. Enough to allow it to move freely, but when you step on the brakes, these brakes should go, or should stop this vehicle before your foot actually goes halfway down onto that pedal. Well guys, on this one I'm going to go ahead and do this from start to finish. Loosen the 14mm bolts. Take them off. Bring the caliper over here. Remove the brake pads. Remove the clips. Install your new clips. Anti-rattle clips. Get your new brake pads. Get your tool. Slide the sucker in. I'm going to use this larger disc. Set it up here. Close it. Pull the tool off. Set the sucker in place. Get the bolts back on there. Tighten them up. And you just replace the brakes, guys. They're not that bad. They're pretty simple. Guys, I know at the beginning I showed you this tool set. It's the same thing as this one here. They both do the same thing. Some of the brakes require, some of the forwards require for that caliper to be pushed in and spun at the same time. That's what these little suckers are for. As you're turning it, well, this is left and right. This has got counterclockwise, and the other one's clockwise. But as you can see, as I turn it, it's closing the caliper, and it's also rotating that little piston. So some of the vehicles do require these. On some vehicles, like the one we just did right now, all you have to do is push them in. No rotating whatsoever. It's got a whole bunch of little attachments. I mean, different vehicles, stuff like that. These, you don't have to buy the high dollar ones. If you want to, you can. But I think I spent $50 on this one, Harbor Freight, and I think I spent a little bit less on this one. I got this one online. Since I am having that brake course, automotive brake course, I had to invest in a whole bunch of master cylinders and, you know, calipers and all this other stuff to be able to take it into class and do hands-on. I also have mock-ups of the front brakes. on the control arms, on the spindles. That way students can actually remove and replace the brakes, not on a vehicle, but on a mock-up. I also did the same for the rear drum brakes. So I had to invest quite a bit just on tools. I didn't want to buy the high dollar ones. I mean, they are for the class, so I just bought something that was, you know, decent enough for me to be able to show people how to do the brake jobs on a vehicle, what tools are required or what tools they can acquire. So, well guys, on this one, it's going to be it for this one, guys. We got the two rear struts, and we got the front brakes done in this car. You saw the struts were pretty simple, easy. Scale from 1 to 5. I'm going to give it a 2.5, 3 maybe on the brakes. Now, dude, these were real easy. I'm going to say it's a 2, 2.5. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and well, like and comment, guys.